Hello and welcome to my three-part mini-series, Why Humanity Needs a Total Heart, Mind, Body, and Soul Makeover and What You Can Do About It. Hi, my name is Alana Moss. I'm the owner of Heart Compass Enterprises, the author of MetaPhysicsForLife.com, and the creator of the foundation for creating a mind with heart. Well, we know that as humans today, we face a lot of challenges. We have, in many ways, divorced ourselves from nature, disconnected our hearts and minds from divine inner guidance, and we've forgotten who we really are. And many, if not most of us, are feeling lost and alone, at least at times. So then we look outside ourselves for answers and solutions, and we're hoping to find reconnection and inner peace, maybe in the next book we read, or the lecture we listen to, or maybe a video that we watch. And we hope to find health and well-being in the next diet or perhaps superfood. And we're hoping to find ourselves by losing ourselves in the next intimate relationship or hookup. Well, the problem is everything that we experience out there is a reflection of the inner condition of our own hearts and minds. And in my course for creating a mind with heart, which I call the Total Heart, Mind, Body, and Soul Makeover, I talk about how the mind is actually the space-time for all thoughts, feelings, ideas, and images to exist. And your body, which is also a thought form given substance with feeling, is a communications device. It's perceiving what's in the mind, and it's sending feedback through your heart back to source for correction. It's kind of like how your eyes work. The image that's perceived by your eyes, at first it's upside down and two-dimensional, and then that information is sent to the brain for processing into a correct 3D physical image, and it's that 3D holographic image that we call our physical reality. Well, the images and feelings in the mind are actually a projection of light coming from source being projected through your soul. Now, your soul is the perfect image. It's a blueprint intended for your life. And when the light of spirit passes through the lens of your soul into the space-time of your mind, it creates, at first, an illusion of separation, just like your eye at first creates an upside-down image. This is a necessary step. It's the first step in creating your physical life experience. Now, if that illusion of separation is being perceived by the body and it's not sent back through the heart to source for processing, then you're going to experience physical life as separate. We'll feel separate from nature, from God, from each other, from everything. Now, when that feedback loop is completed, the body perceives the illusion, it sends it back to source for correction, and then it receives the correct image via the heart. Then we experience the feeling of connection. We feel connected to nature, God, each other, to life, and also we remember who we really are. Now, this feeling of connection, it's known to be the most powerful and the most reliable source of happiness for our life. So anyway, how did I come to discover all of this? Well, I didn't read it in a book. I didn't learn about it in a lecture or a workshop. What I'm talking about here, it can't be learned. It has to be experienced. Now, many years ago, when I was in college, I was struggling with depression. I attempted suicide several times. I had physical health problems, relationship problems, and I didn't know it at the time, but later, when I was 40 years old, I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, PTSD happens when memories of a traumatic event result in inappropriate responses and reactions to current life experiences. Now, all of us have PTSD to one extent or another. In fact, it's so universal that only extreme examples of PTSD, like what happens in war veterans or survivors of terrorist attacks, are even recognized as being unhealthy. But the truth is, PTSD occurs whenever the illusion of separation is experienced and we lack the inner skills and the knowledge to complete that physical creation process. We get stuck in the illusion and we never get to experience the original intended images and feelings, the ones that are stored in our soul and projected into the mind with the light of spirit from source. Now, imagine if the brain didn't correct the two-dimensional upside-down image that's created when light passes through the lens of your eye. You would experience a flat, upside-down physical reality, one that would be similar but a highly distorted image of what's originally intended. Well, something very similar happens when our body perceives the illusion of separation and the brain creates a physical life experience that reflects that illusion. We're seeing a highly distorted image, an image that creates feelings of fear and loneliness and anger, hatred, and even despair. So how and why this disruption of the perception of our physical life experience occurred is a long and complicated story, and I don't have time to get into that here. But once that disruption happened, a plan was set into motion to correct that error. Well, it wasn't really an error, it was a choice, but it's one that's had severe negative consequences for us. Many of us feel that this is a time when humanity faces the ultimate crisis. We can either wake up now, realize what's actually happened, and correct it, or we can stay asleep and experience the final outcome of the ultimate illusion of separation, and it's a choice. Well, one direction could lead to an experience of physical reality as heaven on earth. The other would land us back at 0 point with source, where individual separate life experience doesn't exist. We would forget everything that we've experienced in physical reality, a lot like we forget our dreams when we wake up. Now, neither option is bad, but the first one is an expansion of reality, of spirit or source into physical reality, while the latter is a collapse back to source. But anyway, getting back to my life and where I get all these crazy ideas, after experiencing a lifetime of rather severe post-traumatic stress disorder, I started looking for solutions. Now, I came across lots of crazy stuff. Most of it was oriented towards leaving this physical world behind, because it's an illusion, right? But I had attempted suicide more than once, and I knew that that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to leave this world. So eventually, I discovered Abraham Hicks and the law of attraction. From this, I learned a great deal about the nature of our life experience. And then when the movie The Secret came out, I was overwhelmed by the emphasis on getting more stuff. I mean, I knew in my heart that big houses, expensive cars, and tons of money, they weren't what my soul intended for my life. I wanted to experience the life my heart desired, and I would go to sleep at night asking God or the universe to help me find a way to do that. Well, one morning, I woke up with something that I now call the Heart Compass Life Navigation System for creating a mind with heart, and it was fully formed in my mind. So I went out, bought a few office supplies that I didn't have, and I started performing the steps that were clearly outlined in my mind. Well, the results, they were so mind-blowing that I became really, really excited. But unlike a lot of law of attraction and manifestation gurus, I didn't suddenly become a millionaire or go get a great car or find my soulmate. But my health, that did improve immediately, and I was glowing with joy, and that's what other people noticed. Now, what I've learned through much practice and a lot of persistence is that even in the face of what appeared to be a great loss, the life navigation system, it's about correcting our perception. It's not about getting what we think we want. Using a law of attraction to get what we think we want, it ultimately leads to loss, because law of attraction requires that we attract something that appears to be separate from us, that illusion of separation. The ability to lose something that's separate from us, it's built right into that equation. So life navigation and creating a mind with heart, it's the opposite of that. It helps us realize that everything we experience in life is already connected to us. And by completing the heart, mind, body, and soul feedback loop of creation, we can transform anything in physical reality into the experience of heaven on earth that it was originally intended to be, that perfect image stored in the blueprint of your soul. So am I saying that creating a mind with heart with the life navigation system means that you won't get what you think you want? Well, maybe. You might get something that you never could have imagined, something that satisfies your heart and your soul. Or you might get what you think you want and then be given the opportunity to transform that into the heaven on earth that it was originally intended to be for your life. Well, one thing that I know for sure, once you let the universe know that you are one that is willing to remember the heart, mind, body, soul feedback loop of creation, you will be given life experiences that are in dire need of transformation. Now, let's face it, humanity is in crisis. Health issues, the economy, the environment, politics, hey, everything, it's in turmoil right now. But how these issues are resolved, that's going to depend on how we as humans are perceiving our reality. Now, in part 2 of why humanity needs a total heart, mind, body, soul makeover and what you can do about it, I'm going to demonstrate how I use the Heart Compass life navigation system, and I'm going to talk about how and why it works. And then in part 3, I'll show you how I integrate the life navigation system with other heart-centered healing techniques so you get even more powerful and faster results. So no matter what you're into right now, you don't need to change anything. Life navigation, it's an add-on. It can help fill the gaps in other forms of spiritual, metaphysical, healing, scientific knowledge and techniques that you might have or know about right now. Okay, so I'll see you next time in part 2 for a guided tour and demonstration of the Heart Compass life navigation system for creating a mind with heart. Thanks for joining me. Bye.